Keep watching as I show you how you could have added 50% to your $5,000 trading account in 10 days. Well, hello and welcome to Safety in the Market. Darren here. I'm going to talk you through our August trade, which was on coffee this month, and our students were looking for a 10-to-1 reward to risk trade using coffee. So here we have a weekly bar chart on the coffee market, and what do you see? Obviously, the market has been running up since 2023 here. Our students are seeing a nice balance now as we've retraced 50% of that run up. They're also measuring these ranges down to give themselves a bit of a trading window to look for long trades around this 280 mark here, as you can see. Let's head in to profit source, and there's our run down, that last top from 376. Okay, and our students were looking for a trading window down around this mark here. Let me just slide this chart along and we'll walk you through. Day by day, this is a daily chart now. Now, we have a tutor that specializes in the soft commodities. He was getting himself in at this point. Very aggressive, but this is one of his markets and he's right on top of it. Okay, off we go. So it looks like he's picked the bottom. The market starts heading down, and I know one student who got in at this point here. And luckily their stop was down below this swing as opposed to this bar, because as you can see, the market hadn't quite finished finding a first higher swing bottom that we can see down here, which just broke below here. This would give another opportunity for some if this bar got broken to the upside. And if we add in our swing overlay for our weekly trend, we're starting to see the market pick up now. And I know one or two students would have got in at that point there, at the breaking of that inside bar. You know, we all have different risk tolerances and levels of aggression when we're trying to get into the market. We're all looking at the same trading window, but we trade it in our own personal manner. Personally, I was still watching, okay, and we look to see what's going to happen next. And this bar now gives us an indication that we might be turning this weekly trend upwards and we could have some higher prices. So there would be some students looking to get in here, or indeed just up here at the top with our closers rule that David Bowden teaches us. Okay, so I know our tutor who got in first here was now looking to add to his position if we were to break up through these highs here. And it looks like the next day that could possibly happen. And there it is. And for me, that would be the perfect opportunity for entry as we turn our weekly trend upwards with higher tops, higher bottoms. We're breaking through this resistance level across here, and that would be the place to enter the market. And I know our fellow tutor got his second position underway here using David Bowden's openers rule. He would have got in just above the tops there with his stop 25% of the average daily range below the open down here somewhere, and it looks like our market is starting to take off. But there's one more opportunity. If we use this range up into this top and we have a down bar, if that bar gets broken to the upside, there will be a further opportunity for entries there. Let's just see how that goes. All right, so we get an outside bar there that opens, heads down initially, and then breaks up above. And off we go. So most students now involved at some point. I've put the target that our tutor had up here. I'll show you the details a little later, but that's up at 376, which just happens to be around our previous top. before we headed down into this low. I'll slide us across and we'll keep watching this market, and up we go and through. So at that point, under 2 weeks later, our tutor has got his 10-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And I'll just run you through what's happened since. We've now got another bar that would give us an added entry. Some students will wait for here. Some students will wait for this entry. Okay. And as we can see, they've been entered there. And if we just follow on up until the most recent bar, and that's yesterday, the 10th of September. Okay. And we would have been in there and the stop loss underneath there. Okay, nice and safe so far, but most students, and especially our tutor, very happy with his work over the last couple of weeks. And all the work is done before this low, and then we reap the rewards afterwards. If we head back inside, I'll show you some details. And as you can see, that entry there, just above the tops, and we'd have to put our stop down there, which worked out about 3 points below the open at 304, entry at 310.55, but this tool rounds the numbers up. If we add on, so if that was a risk of 6.6, we'd need a 66-point reward, which brought us up to 376 up the top here. Obviously, the market has carried on a wee bit higher since, but we leave that dollar in for somebody else. We're happy, and our tutor was certainly happy to take his 10-to-1 reward to risk trade there. Let's have a look at the details. So there's our risk, 6.6. So we need a 66-point reward, giving us a 10-to-1. We had an account of $5,000. The risk would have been $250, which is 5%, which is pretty standard for our students. So our reward then becomes $2,500 for the trade. And the length of trade, 2 weeks, 10 trading days. We entered on the Monday. It closed the following Friday, 10 days later. So thank you very much for tuning in once again for our August trade. If you'd like to learn how you can replicate this trade, follow the link below to find out more about the Active Trader program, the course that will teach you how to take 10-to-1 reward to risk trades. Thanks, guys. Good luck out there with your trading and your education. See you next month in September. Thank you.